Hi, I'm Matt and welcome back to SoiLab. As promised, I wanted to follow up with all of you on our last video, which potting soil is best. If you recall where we left off, we had these three soils, the two Miracle Grows as well as the Vigoro, and we were just going to let those ride. No more fertilizer added, we just wanted to look at nutrient drawdown over time, I guess the past couple weeks. With these other two soils, the Kellogg's, those showed pretty low nitrogen levels and we were starting to get a little concerned about keeping those plants alive, let alone thriving. So we did add fertilizer to these two and we'll be looking at that data a bit later. For this Kellogg soil, we added an organic fertilizer, and for this one we added synthetic to also compare and contrast nutrient release curves for those. If you'd like a refresher from our last video, please check it out. The link's in the description below. Let's go ahead now and dive into some of our visual differences before we start looking at data. Maybe the first difference you see is we don't have peas in these anymore. Those peas were growing and getting unruly and starting to crowd each other out, and they were tough to maintain. So we took our observations and pulled those out and then continued to grow our lettuce and tomato plants. And as you can see, some of these tomatoes are starting to take up quite a bit of real estate. So what other visual differences are we seeing aside from those peas? Well, clearly there's a lot of growth differences. Here in our Miracle Grow potting mix, and I'll remind you that we started at about 70 parts per million nitrogen here. We don't see any deficiencies. We see a lot of biomass in the lettuce and the tomatoes. And what I really want you to check out is look at that rooting mass. We've got great rooting mass in both the potting mix and the organic Miracle Grow soil. But we are starting to see the early signs of potentially some drawdown in nitrogen on this Miracle Grow organic soil. And how do we know that? Well, these deficiency symptoms, that yellowing or chlorosis, is occurring on our oldest tissue first. Nitrogen is mobile in the plant, so it's moving out of that old tissue and into that young tissue and into these blooms that we're seeing here. Similarly, we're seeing decent rooting mass here, but you can see that visual difference in less rooting mass compared to the other two, and we are starting to see some of these visual deficiency symptoms and not nearly as much biomass. There just wasn't as much nitrogen in the savings account here with this Vigoro soil. And if I recall, that was right at 7 parts per million nitrogen. And so this is the evidence that we're looking at where we were predicting we would see nutrient deficiency using the MySoil test, and here we are seeing that deficiency. When we move over and look at both the Kellogg raised bed soil as well as the Kellogg garden soil, we had very low nitrogen here. As I mentioned, 3 parts per million to start, and we weren't convinced that we could keep those plants alive. So we added fertilizer at the MySoil recommended rates because that MySoil test predicted a deficiency just as it did in this Vigoro and just as it did in this Miracle Grow organic. Those were below or at the low end of that optimal range, and we know there's going to be drawdown as those roots are pulling in all that nitrogen. And now we're starting to see there's not enough nitrogen to support all that plant growth. So, what did we apply to this Kellogg raised bed soil? We applied a 1200 feather meal as our organic option, and in the Kellogg garden soil, we applied a 4600. That's urea. And what we're seeing right now is more vigor and growth in the urea-treated Kellogg as compared to the feather meal treated Kellogg. So if you remember back to our last video, we didn't have any true leaves on our tomatoes, just those cotyledons or seed leaves out. And look at the growth we have now after that fertilization event, and that's just following that MySoil rec. We could barely even see the lettuce, and now we've got great vigor, and we're looking at getting that to the table here shortly. Let's go ahead and look at some data now and kind of prove out what we're seeing and talk about why we're still seeing differences between these two Kellogg's, or why I think we're seeing some differences. But as we look at these two soils, we have on the top here our Kellogg raised bed soil. That's this soil here on my far left. That's what received the 1200 feather meal. We applied that 1200 feather meal and we did see an increase in nitrogen. That increase was from 3 parts per million to right about 9 parts per million. So as you can see, we're still quite a ways below that sufficiency range, but that's because those organic fertilizers are just a little slower to release their nitrogen. They're relying on all those soil microorganisms, moisture and oxygen to mineralize that nitrogen from its organic form to ammonium and then nitrate, which are our plant available forms. As we compare that to the 4600 urea that we applied, we saw a significant increase. We were targeting the top end of that optimum range, and in this instance, we actually got just above that. This went from 3 parts per million, about that same starting point as the other Kellogg, up to right about 100 parts per million. So we really stacked up that savings account, and there should be enough nitrogen in this now to get us through the rest of the growing season, because it does look like we're going to be able to recover these plants. And so that's something I wanted to discuss just briefly. If we were to have amended these soils ahead of time based on our MySoil results, we would have got that nitrogen in there, filled that savings account, and that slower to release organic would be slowly releasing to closely match plant demand and need. But as a recovery treatment, when we fell a little behind at the beginning of the growing season, that feather meal is a little slower to release and a little slower to help those plants recover. So in this instance, the urea is doing a great job as a recovery treatment in this Kellogg garden soil. So you've heard me mention the savings account a couple of times, and that's really how I think of our soil. It's my nutrient savings account, and it needs to be able to transfer funds throughout the season, especially during those peak growing seasons. Now, if you were to look at the scientific literature, they'd talk about pounds per acre per day of nutrient uptake throughout the growing season. And what that literature and that data has really told us is that crops' demands on the soil vary throughout the growing season. So when we're in an earlier growth state, the amount of nitrogen per acre per day, or nitrogen per raised bed per day, is really pretty low. But as these plants go through the growing season and they start to hit that late vegetative pre-bloom stage or bloom stage, the demand is increased significantly and actually peaks. And then as all that nutrient is being transferred from the vegetative tissue into the fruit, actually the demand will decrease through time. Now, how does that correlate or translate really into what we're seeing here in front of us? If you'll remember back to that original video, both of the Miracle-Gro soils, they started again at 70 and 20 parts per million, they had pretty similar results and pretty similar vegetative growth. Well, that's because our demand peak wasn't there and there's plenty of nutrient in that savings account to support both of them. But as we got closer to bloom and that demand increased, we didn't have the sufficient funds anymore. We didn't have what we needed in nitrogen to get into this plant. And in fact, we start to see some deficiency symptoms in these older tissue. Similarly here, we see stunted growth. We ran into that lower nitrogen earlier in the vegetative growth of this, so we didn't even get to bloom yet. And you can see we don't have any blooms on these tomatoes. So really, what's the takeaway going to be here? In every instance, if we were to soil test, we would know what we had, we'd know our savings account balance, and we would know if we needed to fertilize or not. Now, which of these soils is the best? Well, it's the one that you purchase and that you're confident in and that you enjoy. And what do I mean by that? If we know the nutrient status of these soils, we can build to based on what our philosophy is. Maybe we want to start off with a soil such as these and build that nutrient base on our own with fertilizers that we're confident in. I'd argue that the Vigoro is in that same category. Now, if I wanted something that I didn't have to amend much, I knew I had a great starting point, maybe this soil is there for you, and you're just supplementing or top dressing with a little bit of nitrogen, source of your choosing, throughout the growing season. If you just want to set it and forget it a little bit more, maybe this Miracle-Gro potting mix is for you. Any way you look at it, all of these soils have the ability to grow great plants if they're just amended appropriately. If you're like so many of us and you've had varied results with different bagged garden soils, I hope that this really helped drive your decisions in the future. If this is the type of content that you're enjoying, please do like, subscribe, comment what you'd like to see next, and I'll look forward to seeing you again soon in the lab.